Be ready for dictation. 5 seconds to go. Start. Sir, planning is the vital instrument we have adopted to realize the social objectives enshrined in our Constitution. Through the 5 year plans, we have already achieved a significant increase in the national income in the past 18 years and laid the foundations of technological advance. The plan is fast modernizing our agriculture and strengthening and diversifying our industry. Above all, it has reinforced national unity and purpose. The attack on our territory in 1962 and again in 1965 forced us to modify the pattern of national expenditure before we could reconcile the competing claims of development and defense. Drought struck us, foreign credits became uncertain, recession followed. All these seriously restricted our freedom of choice. We had to divert our energies to fight drought and near famine and their aftermath. For some time, long term planning had to be virtually suspended, but we succeeded in turning adversity to good use. We concentrated on import substitution, which further enlarged our industrial base. This, along with the need for more foreign exchange, put us on the path of a more fruitful export drive. We maintained our investment in development work, especially in intensive agricultural programs. A new period has now opened. There is a welcome upsurge in the economy, and the increases in agricultural production have brought us nearer to self sufficiency in food grains, but inevitably, there are other problems and a fresh challenge to face. Rural disparities have increased partly owing to the very efforts we have made to move rapidly towards self sufficiency in food, and partly owing to a certain slowness in the matter of implementing the land reforms. Although the industrial recession has been curbed, new industries are not coming up fast enough, and unemployment, especially of technically trained persons, continues to be acute. We have a larger and understandably enough and more distinct population. Planning is the method to which we are committed for meeting such challenges. We have carried out 3 5 year plans. Each 5 year plan has addressed itself especially to problems which have emerged either because of new political and economic developments in the country and in the world, or as a consequence of progress we have already achieved. The priorities and the emphasis have necessarily changed and have had to be adjusted from plan to plan, but we have always kept in view our long term objectives and their achievement. Section 6 of the original Act has been amended, which has given greater concessions to the judgment debtor from arrest and from attachment of his salary that will relieve some hardships. The Law Commission, in its 2 reports, have recommended the deletion of this section. The bill, as originally introduced, also deleted that section, but the committee, in its wisdom, found that the notice should be there so that cases which are genuine might be settled out of court by the government, so that unnecessary expenditure need not be incurred by the litigant, and also the litigant need not undergo unnecessary expenses and worry. But this section, which is being restored, should not be understood in favor of the government, but the government should deem it a duty to see that whenever a notice under Section 80 is received, it should examine the claim if the aggrieved citizen and see that it is settled if it is genuine so that litigation could be avoided. Otherwise, the government or the government officers never bothered to look into the notice. The litigant is at a loss and he has to go to the court. The purpose was not being served. Now, I hope with this amendment, the litigant will not be driven to the court to file a suit. In case of course where the government feel that the claim is genuine, it could be settled and avoid the litigant from going to the court. About section 100, which speaks of second appeals, they have introduced the words substantial question of law. The wording earlier was on a question of law. A second appeal lie. That is the wording under the existing section 100 of Civil Procedure Code. But they have now put the words on a substantial question of law. A substantial question of law should be involved for a second appeal. What does it mean? Suppose the decision of a suit depends on a question of limitation, where the plaintiff files a suit and the defendant contests the suit as barred by time. Is it a substantial question of law or is it only a technical question of law?